Well, it was a great night for the Rockwall-Heath Hawks, a 41-18 victory over the Forney Jackrabbits. It looks like things are finally coming together for the Heath Hawks, and the Hawks are back in the playoffs after a one-year absence. Hello everybody, Chris Curtis here for the Rockwall Sportscenter Heath Hawk update, joined by the captain of the Heath Hawk broadcast, Steve Deere. And Steve, as I mentioned, it looks like everything is finally coming together for this Rockwall Heath team, and it's coming together at exactly the right time.
Well, I don't know if I would term it as finally coming together because they've really been doing well all year, but the thing that has happened is where the defense has really been the backbone of this team for the entire season, really held them in every game the last several weeks. If you want to say finally come together, okay, the offense is coming around in a way that we've been looking forward to all year. The offensive line has just been dominant the last 3 weeks. The running game behind Rico Henderson has been unbelievable. He's had two of his best games ever in a Heath Hawk uniform in the last 2 weeks. Jordan Hoy's just controlling the game. So, yeah, the offense is finally bringing its play up to the level that the defense has been exhibiting all year, peaking at the right time, getting ready for the playoffs.
You mentioned that offensive line as being dominant. This is a team that has lost 3 of their starters, 3 really big pieces on this team, and yet they're still being dominant. Why is that?
Well, you got to attribute that to good coaching. I mean, anytime you have that kind of attrition and you have people going out and you've got somebody stepping in, next man up is the terminology they use in football. Next man up steps in and they're ready to do the job. That's just good coaching.
And you know, last year, obviously, I got to hang out in the Heath locker room after that final game where they had to decide if they were going to the playoffs or not. A very devastated locker room. It really hung on them over the summer. You got to think the kids that returned. They're back in the playoffs this year, the senior team. You mentioned on the broadcast this week. Lots of leadership on this team. How exciting is it for this team to not only clinch a playoff spot, but to clinch it pretty early still?
Well, you know, last year, that team was one that was devastated more than any that I've ever seen as far as injuries go. They were down to their 3rd quarterback by the end of the year, lost multiple players, especially on offense. So the whole concept of next man up and being prepared to do the job, maybe there was some carryover from last year. Maybe there was a sense of, we're not going to let this happen to us again. I don't know. I haven't really talked to him about that. But all I know is that there is an excitement level. There is we're better prepared this year heading into the playoffs than we were last year. And there is a sense of whoever is there to do the job, if somebody goes out and another one steps in, every man's got a job to do. Everybody's going to step in and be ready to do their job.
You got to think a very happy Coach Moss after finally returning back to the playoffs after a 1-year absence.
You know, with the team, we hadn't talked a whole lot about being in the playoffs. We've been just wanting to take care of our district. The biggest thing I talk to them on a weekly basis is just being the team that I believe they are. Not just a good team, but a great football team. And we've played a very difficult physical schedule, particularly our first 4 ball games. And then going into our district play and then getting the big win over West Mesquite, and then, you know, just last week a good win over Forney. I think it's helping with these kids to see that, you know, they got a chance to be a really great football team.
And this Friday night, very special here for Rockwall Heath. It's senior night, it's Halloween, and Royce City is coming to town with only 2 wins on the year. They're a young and upcoming team, so what does Rockwall Heath need to do to keep this train going?
Well, it's really interesting, actually. Courtney Vance is their starting quarterback. You said young. He's a junior. I believe this is his 2nd year to start, if I'm not mistaken, but he's very similar to the guys I saw last week and the week before. He leads their team in passing and leads their team in rushing, dual threat quarterback. Heath has had a lot of success shutting those 2 guys down, very highly touted prospects on the 2 teams previously, Forney and West Mesquite. So they had a lot of success doing that the previous 2 weeks. Keep on doing what you're doing there. Just playing stellar defense. Yeah, Forney, I mean, I'm sorry, Royce City is a young team. Their top 2 running backs are both sophomores. Like I said, quarterback's a junior. Their better days are ahead of them. They're improving. 2 wins this year is 2 more than they had last year. And they've been in every game. They actually led Terrell last week going into the 4th quarter before Terrell came back, scored a couple late to take the win. So they're improving. So you don't want to stub your toe at this point heading into the playoffs. You want to make sure you're keeping your focus. Keep doing what you've been doing. Use this as an opportunity to fine-tune heading into the playoffs, and let's just keep the momentum going.
Going to be a very emotional night here on Friday night as the seniors will play their final game here at Wilkerson Sanders. You've talked to the kids past week. What are their mindset going into this game? Is this going to be their final time to play at home here as a Rockwall Heath Hawk?
You know, it's really interesting. They talked about a range of emotions. Deshaun Elliott made it very clear, I'm going to be crying down there when I'm introduced and on my last game as a senior here. He's going to be very emotional. Rico Henderson said, you know what I'm going to be thinking about are my senior teammates that aren't able to be out here, the guys that are out injured, the Trevor Elberts and those guys of the world. So he's going to be playing for those guys and thinking about them when and the fact that they're not able to be out there for their last game. So a big, wide range of emotions. It always is on senior night. But you know what? You think of a guy like Rico Henderson. He's given 4 years to varsity. You think of a guy like Jordan Hoy. I believe this is his 3rd year on varsity, 2nd year as a starter. There are some guys on this team, some seniors on this team, that have put a lot of time into varsity and built this team to prepare it for what it has ahead of it this year. And so, yeah, it's going to be very emotional for them knowing that that part of their life is about to be over.
With it being Halloween, no pun intended, it might be kind of scary to face this Rockwall-Heath team this Friday night.
I hope it's scary for a lot of teams in the next several weeks. This week, next week, and into the playoffs, I hope that a lot of teams are afraid of what they're about to see with the Heath Hawks.
All right, you don't want to go out and get candy on Friday. You want to come here at Wilkerson Sanders Memorial Stadium. Save your dentist trip next week. It's at 7:30 here at Wilkerson Sanders. If you can't join us, it's www.rockwallisd.com. Steve, ready for one final home game this year?
For Halloween, I'm looking forward to a sweet victory.
I like the pun. You're getting it. I like it.
Yeah.
We're catching on. All right. Thanks for joining us here on the Rockwall Sportscenter Heath Hawk update for Chris Curtis. I'm Chris Curtis for Steve Deere. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. One final road game until the playoffs begin. It's going to be exciting times here at Rockwall-Heath High School. We'll see you next week.